Guys, what's going on? Welcome to Serial at Midnight. My name is Heath, and in this video we're talking about Makeflix. We're shining a spotlight on Makeflix. What is Makeflix? Among other things, Makeflix is the online store, the online repository for the creative works of J.R. Bookwalter. He is the independent filmmaker, the voice behind Robot Ninja. Also, I have my stack of Makeflix stuff here. Also, maybe most notably, The Dead Next Door, which has involvement from Sam Raimi. Bruce Campbell has an involvement with this. Ozone. But, you know, if you were in the era of... If you lived through the era of the mom and pop video store, you walked among the sea of boxes, chances are you know exactly what I'm talking about. You know these movies. It's not just the work of J.R. Bookwalter. You know, there's a lot of stuff that's kind of maybe tangentially related. For like, this is one, Skinned Alive. This is a Tempe Digital title. Tempe Digital is, of course, Mr. Bookwalter's creation. There was a Tempe Digital site. This has been rolled into Makeflix now, but this is directed by John Kilo. There are other movies like, let's see what I got here. We got Poison Sweethearts, Platoon of the Dead. Here we go. Platoon of the Dead. Some of these are some of these are shot on video. Some of these are shot on 8mm. Some of these are 16mm. Some of these, like Screaming in High Heels, are thoroughly modern productions. This is directed by Jason Paul Cullum, and let me make sure, it's B-Boy Productions. So it's not Tempe Digital, and it's not directed by J.R. Bookwalter, but it's sort of the umbrella of the creative relationships, the creative cadre, the platoon of indie creators that falls under the Makeflix brand. And I think that's really cool because, listen, you know, we talk about this every time we talk about independent horror or one of those micro-budget horror movies. It's so important to celebrate and to champion those independent voices, because we're living in a world where corporations are basically taking everything over. I say this on a platform that's been overtaken by a corporation. Corporations, they just get their fingers in every aspect of creation and they take it away from the creator. And then before you know it, it's like it's been made by committee, and those voices that started it have been silenced in favor of something that's more homogenized, and it's just very, you know, very even. And that's not good for me. Yeah, there's a time and place for that, but I really love the independent voice. I think independent creation, independent filmmaking is so important. Mr. Bookwalter is, of course, an icon, in my opinion, of this sort of independent creation. The dude writes, he directs, he edits, he creates his own music, the graphics. I mean, there's so many aspects of creation that he's responsible for, and I have so much respect for that. And he figured it all out in a time, we're talking about the 80s and into the 90s, in a time when it was still kind of the wild, wild west for direct-to-video horror and products and things like that. And so all this now lives at Makeflix, and I want to champion Makeflix because I think it's a great site. This is not going to be a review video for any of these products, but I do kind of just want to walk you through the level of production that goes into these, because listen, there's a lot of companies that are putting out super duper special editions of things right now. We talk about them, we love them, we champion them. I don't know that anyone has yet to top what J.R. Bookwalter puts into his movies. Let's start with Ozone. You know, again, not a review, just kind of want to give you an overview. Ozone is basically a mid-90s horror, action, sci-fi. It's a genre movie. It walks in between the genres like the raindrops. It just sort of dodges in between. Hard to define, but it's pretty great. And you get like... You get a slipcase. If you buy these from Makeflix, a lot of these are going to come with... See, this is a press copy for me. This was like my promo copy. So it's not autographed, but let me find one that is. So if you buy something from there, you get... Almost dropped it. You get, you know, chances are you're going to get an autograph on your product. Something like Skinned Alive, you're going to get autographed by Mr. Bookwalter and by the director John Kilo. It's fantastic. Let's get back to Ozone. The special features on this. So basically, you get like reversible artwork. He always puts in reversible artwork for this stuff. In the early pressings, at least, you're going to get a booklet that's filled with stories about what if I just held this up and it had like something that was going to get me in trouble with YouTube and by turn Google, like, excuse me, Mr. Serial at midnight. I don't know. They're from the Matrix. They're they're like Mr. Anderson. Look, you get, after I just spent all that time straightening them, I hold it up and they're like, whoop, now they're not going to do it again. You get a Blu-ray. This particular Blu-ray is like a manufactured on demand Blu-ray. Not everything is manufactured on demand. Some of this stuff is pressed. Let's do The Dead Next Door. I think The Dead Next Door is yes, boom. It's a factory pressed disc. What about the DVD? Because you always get a DVD. DVD, factory pressed. Boom. I'm telling you guys. But some of this stuff is manufactured on demand. Nevertheless, it doesn't matter because the level of quality is like off the charts. So you get the Blu-ray version of the movie. He's gone back to the original like SD VHS, like it's like the highest format VHS you can get. Remastered it as best as he can for Blu-ray, so it looks better than it ever did. You got like a commentary, you got making of stuff, you've got vintage press and stuff, and then there's this. This is the original VHS version of the movie. And one of the things that I love about these is like VHS collecting is really big, you know, like it's really popular. People still love VHS. So you get like a digitized version of the VHS tape. So you get that experience. If that's how you came to the movie, that's your experience. You get that experience, but it's never going to degrade. You know what I mean? Like it's there captured for all of time. And then that presentation has an archival audio commentary. I think just about every one of these has like 3 audio commentaries. Oh, geez, you guys. Let me just try to breeze over this. 2020 commentary, 2003 audio commentary. We got deleted scenes. We've got like press appearances that they did in the 90s, 1993. News Talk 29 TV appearances, like them on their local news talking about the movies that they've made and great stuff. Behind the scenes with optional audio commentary, test footage, 1994 VHS version, audio commentary. That's your third audio commentary right there. Scenes from the Spanish dubbed version, the B-Nest video magazine intro. You guys, do you see what I'm saying? There's like such a commitment to just like super serving the fan community for like, you get this and you get this and you get a new car. And not a new car. Makeflix products do not come with a new car. But you get a lot of stuff. And so like in the case of, let me find my Robot Ninja now. In the case of Robot Ninja, which by the way is just the most gorgeous thing ever. I think there's even, yeah, we even have that art is reversible under here. So you've got the Blu-ray version. This is a pressed disc of Robot Ninja. You've got Le Booklet with, like the production is just off the charts. You think independent, you think a certain level of quality, right? But then this comes along and it's like, show you how it's done. Hold my beer. This is what Makeflix says. Look, the DVD with the 1989 VHS version. There's a version you can buy on Makeflix, and it comes with the poster. That's a double-sided poster, by the way. The other side of that poster is it's this art. A comic book comes with a comic book, and this is like, it's an actual comic book. There's a pin up in here. Hold up. Check out this pinup. Guys, this is not a company that's like, honestly, I can't name names. I can't compare. It's not like a $1 trillion company owned by, you know, one of the cellular companies. You know what I'm saying? This is like independent creations. And for the level of quality here, I'm just so impressed. And even the stuff that I discover, like the Screaming in High Heels was a recent discovery for me. I think that's a 2011 documentary that's just been given like a whole new shine. So this Blu-ray comes out, and did we talk about this? I can't even remember. Linnea Quigley, Brink Stevens, Michelle Bauer, the Scream Queens of the VHS era, the video store era. That's a documentary about them, basically, all about them, with lots of interview footage from them. And then, so this was done, you know, a while back, but then this Blu-ray is new, and you got the director, Jason Paul Cullum, like doing I don't know if I can say a brand name, doing a conference call with the three ladies in a time of COVID. Like, they got back together online during current pandemic times, to kind of just like, hey, it's been a while since we did this, and like catching everybody up. Just incredible stuff. Another one that I wanted to talk to you guys about is Reflections of the Living Dead. Reflections on the Living Dead. This was it was done in coordination with, I think it was the 25th anniversary. Originally released in 1993 as Night of the Living Dead 25th Anniversary Documentary. This edition has been fully remastered from the original standard definition source material. You got George Romero, basically everyone who was involved with Night of the Living Dead. It was the first time they'd been in a room together talking about Night of the Living Dead in 25 years. And then you get famous creators also talking about the impact of this. So you've got Sam Raimi, you've got Wes Craven. I mean, I think Landis is on it. Landis is here. He's like, "Oh, Night of the Living Dead was an amazing movie. I saw it and I was like, why? How are they doing this with the resources that they have available to them?" It's Tobe Hooper, John Landis. They're listed. I didn't have to do from memory. They're listed right here. And then of course, audio commentary, a complete unedited roundtable, the 1993 VHS version, free soundtrack MP3 download. You guys, do you see what I'm talking about? Like, the quality just goes on and on and on. There's also, it's like Skinned Alive has a soundtrack. You can get this bundled with the Skinned Alive Blu-ray, but I had a press copy of Skinned Alive, so I bought the soundtrack because it's got some really cool stuff. There's Mr. Bookwalter is kind of based in the Ohio area, and it sort of becomes like a regional filmmaking goldmine. And so there's all these like local music acts that one of these, like, let me read you some of these band names. Hang Dangle, Fox, Virgil Pittman. That's not a band name. Where's the one I'm looking for? Joy Circuit. This is a song called Love Turns to Darkness. It's like this synth pop new wave band. J.R. Bookwalter directed the music video for that. That video is on the Skinned Alive Blu-ray. So I had to get the soundtrack. And again, as an independent company doing a lot of stuff, just kind of like, let's make that for you. We'll do that for you. And then the quality you get, like, I think this is a pressed disc. I don't think this is like a CDR. I think this is an actual, like, they had soundtrack CDs made for this movie. It's wonderful. There's other stuff. I'm running longer than I intended to because I've gone and gotten myself excited. I want to talk about these movies. Those of you who know J.R. Bookwalter's career, you know about the six-pack movies, which are basically these films that were made for the video market. Shoestring budget. The budgets were supposed to be like $2,500, I believe, but as one movie would go over budget, they'd have to take it from other movies. Some of these movies are being made for like $1,000, $1,200, something like that, and they're doing it like in the woods behind somebody's house, and it becomes like, hey, what could we do if we went out into the woods with a script, a little bit of a script, and we had to improvise this movie, a 75, 80, 90-minute movie. We had to improvise this and create this, just over the course of a weekend or 2 weekends or something like that. And it becomes this really fascinating experiment. And so that's what these are. And he notoriously calls them the six-pack movies because you have to have a six-pack to enjoy them. Galaxy of the Dinosaurs, Chick Boxer, Humanoids from Atlantis. By the way, some of these movies we're talking about, Linnea Quigley, the Scream Queens are in some of these. Maximum Impact, Zombie Cop. If you like these movies, this is available on Makeflix. However, there's been a lot of teases lately on the Makeflix social media accounts about something cool coming for these movies. Like each one of these, each week, there's been a tease about like a new restored version with cool extras, and I think, the extras are a lot of the appeal, right? Because we like, you look at the works of Kevin Smith, right? Like Kevin Smith, we love the movies. We also equally love the creation of the movies and the commentaries of the movies. It feels like we're getting together with friends. Very much what Makeflix is about. So stay tuned. There's a lot of cool things happening over at Makeflix. The stuff that continues to come out. I know I said this in the review, but like, Skinned Alive was shot on 16 millimeter. but it always lived in this like, it didn't look good in the VHS. I mean, it looked like VHS, right? But because of the current pandemic times, Mr. Bookwalter was able to get this movie, the 16 millimeter, like, restored for Blu-ray. And here we have a Blu-ray. The 16 millimeter looks freaking fantastic. And it's just, I mean, the stuff that's happening. You know what? I can tell you, but I think my excitement kind of tells the story too. Like, I really do love this stuff. I really do believe in this stuff, and I get excited about it because I love seeing creators that are on fire, and I love seeing creators that are able to make things, Makeflix, not a coincidence, and serve that over to the people at a fair price with like tons and tons and tons of value. So that's a spotlight. You know what? That's the spotlight on Makeflix. The link to Makeflix is in the description of this video, but it's Makeflix, you guys. Makeflix.com. Go check them out. If you do, it would be super awesome of you to let them know that Serial at Midnight sent you over there, because I would love them to know that we are representing what they do, that we care about that independent creation, and that it means a lot to us as fans, as the fan community. That we see you. We see what you're doing. So please represent if you do head over there, and I do think you should. So guys, thanks so much for hanging out, talking about this label, talking about independent creation, J.R. Bookwalter, B-Boy Productions, Tempe Digital, Robot Ninja. It's amazing. Wonderful stuff. Thanks so much. Take care, and until next time, I will catch you later.